Fun with Failure.
Welcome to Fun with Failure Shorts. As we all know, when you've got a lot of people, strange things tend to happen. And where do you find a lot of people gathered together? If you guessed theme parks, you'd be right. I found 8 stories from experiences of people in theme parks I thought you would enjoy, so here we go. Number 1. One year when my husband's younger brother, he's a big guy in his 30s, is down visiting us in Florida. He expresses an interest in going to a Halloween event at a big theme park. Leading up to it, he jeers and laughs and rolls his eyes on how corny all the advertising is. And he brags about how he's not scared of anything. We all get along very well, and we like to joke with each other and tease each other in a friendly way. I can't help but to notice as he walks up to the first haunted house, he doesn't seem so braggy. He's right behind me in line, and sure enough, he has my shoulders in a death grip the entire time. This repeats through every house that night. He never makes a sound, but I can feel him flinching and jumping, even though when we came out of the house, he'd roll his eyes and laugh at it. The next day, we were at a hotel on the resort property, and he was flirting with a woman who seems to be pretty into him. She says, "So, did you go to the Halloween event last night?" He says, "Yeah, it was fun, but it wasn't even scary." Then my husband says, "You seem pretty freaked out to me, dude." "How would you know? I was behind your wife all night. I was fine." Wordlessly, I roll up the sleeves of my t-shirt to show my shoulders, where each one has 5 matching tiny fingernail bruises from where he was clinging to me. That's when I said, "These are not the marks of a fearless man, sweetheart." He blushes red right to his hairline. We all shared a good-natured laugh. I guess the woman he was flirting with thought it was cute, so he still got her number. Hopefully she can protect him from all those ghosties and zombies out there. Number 2. This happened back in 2001. I was working the MerryGoRound at a very popular theme park. After riding it 3 times with his kids, the customer approaches me after the ride is concluded. Here's how the conversation went. "You know this ride isn't fun. How much did you pay for it?" "Excuse me? How much did you pay for the ride?" Well, none." "Well, then I guess you got what you paid for." He stared at me a moment, then broke out into laughter. I'm glad he has a sense of humor. Number 3. I'm standing in a line at an outside food and drink kiosk when a large hornet lands on my bare leg. I admit, I kinda flail a bit to kick it off by reflex, which is embarrassing. The guy in line behind me, with his girlfriend, begins laughing out loud in a mocking manner. The guy says, "Oh my god, that was just a bug!" Well, I panicked. I didn't want to get stung. "Oh my god, that was freaking ridiculous. Did you freaking see her freak out?" He mimics me in an insulting way and keeps laughing loudly and obnoxiously. It doesn't really upset me, but it's annoying and people are staring. His girlfriend had been behind him on her cell phone, quietly frowning at him the entire time, when suddenly she lifts the end of a piece of her long hair and she lightly tickles the bare skin on the back of his arm. He immediately cuts off with a shrill squeak and jumps, flailing and smacking at his arm, far more loudly in panic than I was. He seemed to quietly realize what happened, and he goes red in the face and won't look at me. The girlfriend goes back to scrolling through her cell phone calmly, with her eyebrows raised, and she quietly says, "That's what I thought." Number 4. I work as a ride operator at a small fairy tale themed amusement park in my hometown. On this day, I'm driving the train, which tours the entire park, and it has a PA system mainly for me to talk to the passengers about the attractions we're passing. We have a script, but we don't have to follow it strictly. I often insert silly things to make the passenger smile, and I'm also a bit of a practical joker. I've just loaded a set of 50 passengers on the train. Then I say over the PA system, "Hey, could you guys do me a big favor?" The general motion was, "Sure, what's the favor?" "The guy who's running the carousel right now is named Nick. When we pass him, can you yell out, 'Hey, Nick,' at him?" I get laughter, thumbs up, and nods of approval from the passengers. "Great, let's go. Welcome aboard the Park Express." I go through the rest of my opening spiel and start the train. I do the rest of the trip pretty normally. When we pass the carousel, "Hey, Nick!" the passengers yell. A random passenger dude yells, "I love you, Nick!" The look Nick gave me when I passed him the next circuit around was priceless. Number 5. My husband and I are at a local theme park for the yearly Halloween event, which includes haunted houses, areas set up for themed scare zones, and employees dressed up in various monster outfits running around in hordes. I'm waiting outside the bathroom for my husband at one point, when I'm suddenly surrounded by a group of about a dozen more yelling, howling employees dressed as zombies. I'm genuinely startled and almost leap out of my skin. Suddenly, one of the zombies pointed at the Star Trek logo on my shirt and begins loudly hooting and growling. He throws up his hand, making the well-known Vulcan hand sign for live long and prosper. All the other zombies do the same, clearly excited, before they turn and run off back to the rest of the park, howling and waving the Vulcan sign in the air. My husband, having just caught the tail end of it coming out of the restroom, says, "What the hell was that?" I'm mildly dazed and I say, "The single most surreal moment of my life." Number 6. I'm working at a face painting location in a major theme park. I notice a small child, at most 5 years old, staring at the sign with all the designs on it. After a moment or two, the girl approaches me. "How much is it?" "Hello, face painting is $12 to $18. The price depends on which ones you pick." At this point, she gives me a dirty look. "That's too much. Can you lower the price?" "I'm sorry, but I can't lower the price." "Ugh, where's your manager?" I'm trying not to burst out in laughter. She's not here right now. The girl then turns and storms off back to her parents, who was sitting on a bench across the way and had no intention of letting her have her face painted. Number 7. This particular theme park allows free admittance to children under 2. We get parents coming up all the time, saying their 3-year-old is 2. A guest strolled up to me with his obviously 11-year-old son. "Hello there. How can I help you today?" He doesn't answer me and he proceeds to give me his only ticket. "And does the child have a ticket?" "No, he's only 2. I look at the guest and I say, "Sir, he is clearly not 2 years old." "Oh yeah? Go ahead and ask him." "You mean I have permission to ask your son how old he is?" He gives me a smart alecky attitude. "Yes, go ahead. See what he tells you." I smile at the child and I say, "Son, do you like getting homework?" The child says, "No, I hate homework." I look at the adult guest and say, "Sir, 2-year-old children don't get homework. He needs a ticket, and there's a counter to get one over there." Number 8. I'm an entrance photographer at a theme park. "Hello folks, welcome to theme park. I need you to stop for a quick picture, please." The male adult park attendee says, in obvious Texas drawl, and slightly bad Spanish, "No hablos English." Yes, he said English and not Inglés. Trying to do my job, be polite and not jump to any conclusions, I switched to Spanish, which, while I'm not a native speaker, I'm relatively fluent in and have practiced specifically for Spanish-speaking park attendees, so that they're not left out of the full experience. "No hay problema, señor. Necesito que dejes de pedir dos fotos rápidas, por favor." The male park attendee says, still in obvious Texan drawl, and now broken French, "Parlez-vous France?" He said "vous," not "vous." And while I could do the entire spiel in French, thanks to learning from the Louisiana co-worker, just in case, I'm certain at this point the guy is bluffing. Plus he doesn't actually ask me to say it in French, so, "Oui, monsieur." Got to give this guy credit for persistence, because he takes one more shot to avoid inconvenience of having his photo taken. Not really even trying to speak in the language, he says, "German?" Yep, he says German. At this point, I'm bluffing his bluff. I've never learned the spiel in German, but I know enough to say, "Ja, mein Herr." Ah, dagnammit, just take my goddamn pictures. The family poses and everyone smiles except for him. I smile and hand the man the slip with his number, and I finish my duty with them, with a cheerful final comment. "Your pictures will be ready from any time after 4 p.m. Thank you for your time and consideration. I hope you all enjoy your wonderful day." Here's an epilogue. The guy's wife and kids dragged him to check out the pictures. They bought several frames and a few keychains, and both mini viewers, totaling enough for me to get a $40 commission off just them. They were the only sales of that day. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that program. Those were a few of the wonderful stories I was able to find that I thought was funny. If you enjoyed those stories, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any ideas that you want to share, send it to me at funwithfailure@gmail.com. or you can post it on my Facebook account, my Twitter, or you can put it down in the comments. Thank you for your time, and until next time, enjoy the ride.